I'm Teisha Bader with Shalom TV's news update for Thursday, March the 14th, 2013. Jewish leaders here in the U.S. welcomed the election of the new Pope, Cardinal Jorge Mario Bergoglio of Argentina, who will now be known as Pope Francis. Among them, B'nai B'rith International, whose president Alan Jacobs said Catholic-Jewish relations had remained a focus of Pope Benedict XVI, and we look forward to continuing the solid foundation that already exists for interfaith dialogue. Anti-Defamation League National Director Abe Foxman echoed the sentiment, saying there was much in the new Pope's record that is reassuring about the future, noting the strides in positive Catholic-Jewish relations when Francis served as cardinal in Argentina and his close relationship with the Jewish community there. World Jewish Congress President Ronald Lauder praised the new Pope as a man who is able to build bridges with other faiths, and said, "We are convinced that the new pontiff will continue on this path, that he will speak out against all forms of anti-Semitism both within and without the Catholic Church, that he will take action against clerics who deny or belittle the Holocaust, and that he will strengthen the Vatican's relationship with Israel." Founder and Dean of the Simon Wiesenthal Center, Rabbi Marvin Heyer, also congratulated the new Pope and expressed his confidence that Francis I will be a staunch defender of the historic Nostra Aetate, the declaration on the relation of the Church with non-Christian religions of the Second Vatican Council, which forever changed the relationship of the Catholic Church and the Jewish people. And referring to the historic declaration, French news agency AFP reported that Pope Francis wrote in a letter to Rome's chief rabbi today, "I sincerely hope I can contribute to the progress there has been in relations between Jews and Catholics since the Second Vatican Council in a spirit of renewed collaboration." And turning to Israel now, where an Israeli woman and her 3 daughters were injured today in a collision caused by stones that were thrown at the car she was driving in. Initial reports suggest that the mother lost control of the car driving along Route 5 near Ariel in the West Bank after Palestinians threw stones at her vehicle, causing it to collide with a truck. One of the daughters is said to be in critical condition. She's reported to be 3 years old. The mother is in serious condition, with the other 2 children in moderate condition. Magen David Adom evacuated the injured to Rabin Medical Center in Petah Tikva, and the IDF are canvassing the area in search of the stone throwers. Prior to the crash, several drivers had reported that Palestinians were hurling stones at vehicles driving on the same route, and a bus was also struck by stones in the same area. A federal court judge in Brooklyn, New York, rejected an attorney's request to exclude Jews from a jury involving a client facing charges of lying about joining the Taliban. Attorney Frederick Cohn, who is himself Jewish, is representing Abdel Hamid Shehadeh, who was indicted in 2010 for lying to the FBI about his involvement with the Taliban. The New York Post had reported that Cohn had told Judge Eric Vitaliano earlier that Jews on Shehadeh's jury would have a bias against his client. Given that there's going to be inflammatory testimony about Jews and Zionism, Cohn had said, "I think it would be hard for Jews to cast aside any innate antipathy." The judge ruled Tuesday, however, that it would be unconstitutional to bar any prospective juror because of religion. The Post quoted the judge as saying, "If any juror, regardless of race, creed, national origin, sex, can accept the instruction of the court, that juror doesn't belong on the jury." The Jewish Council for Public Affairs wrapped up their annual plenum this week in Washington, D.C., where representatives of the JCPA's 125 community relations councils and 15 national member agencies met to discuss policy on 4 major issues. On Tuesday, the JCPA reps met with over 50 members of Congress to address these issues, namely gun violence, immigration, Iran's nuclear program, and the federal budget. Following the meetings, JCPA President Steve Gutau said, "We were pleased at the outpouring of congressional support for this agenda of justice and security, be it preventing a nuclear-armed Iran or ensuring the effectiveness of the social safety net." The JCPA also named its newest member organization at the plenum, Jewish Women International, or JWI, who work to end domestic and sexual violence against women. They became the 15th member of the JCPA and the only organization accepted as a new member this year. Gutau called the JWI a vocal champion for a secure and peaceful Israel and for the rights of women and minorities everywhere. He said its social justice advocacy and strong moral voice will bolster the JCPA's position as the truly representative body of the Jewish community and further our ability to repair the world through Jewish activism. The JCPA plenum is the largest annual gathering of Jewish community relations leaders, national experts, and policymakers who set consensus policy and plan national, state, and local public affairs initiatives. And that's Shalom TV's news update for Thursday, March the 14th, 2013. I'm Teisha Bader.